Think that worn-out quarter in your pocket is just spare change? Think again, because what looks dirty, ordinary, and completely overlooked could actually be hiding a story of rarity, history, and real collector value. Today, we've uncovered how coins like the 1988 and 1998 George Washington quarter dollars, especially those with the P mint mark in dirty condition, can hold far more than face value when the right details come into play. From their place in American history to their design, minting quirks, and the surprising importance of original surfaces. 1988 George Washington quarter dollar coin. The 1988 George Washington quarter dollar may not immediately strike collectors as extraordinary. At first glance, it's part of the long-running Washington quarter series that began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1988, the design had already become deeply familiar across the United States, circulating through millions of hands daily. But as with many coins and numismatics, the real story lies beneath the surface, in the subtle details, production quirks, and survival rates that separate the ordinary from the exceptional. The obverse of the 1988 quarter features the iconic left-facing bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. His profile is calm, dignified, and instantly recognizable. The word liberty arches above his head, while In God We Trust sits to the left, and the date 1988 is placed below. On coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, you'll notice something interesting. Unlike earlier decades, Philadelphia coins began consistently carrying the P mint mark starting in 1980. So on this 1988 issue, a small P appears to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon, a tiny but crucial detail for collectors. The reverse design remains the classic heraldic eagle, wings spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. Above the eagle reads, United States of America, and below, quarter dollar. The motto, E pluribus unum, sits above the eagle's head, tying together the identity of the nation. Now, let's talk about mintage, because this is where things start to get interesting. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 582 million quarters in 1988. On paper, that's an enormous number, suggesting the coin should be extremely common. And in circulated condition, it is. Millions still exist. But here's where the twist comes in. High-grade examples, especially those with strong strikes, clean surfaces, and minimal contact marks, are surprisingly scarce. The sheer volume of coins produced meant they were heavily used, quickly entering circulation and picking up wear. But what about dirty condition coins? This is where many collectors make a critical mistake. A coin described as dirty is often dismissed as damaged or undesirable. However, in numismatics, dirty doesn't always mean worthless. In fact, it can sometimes indicate originality. Dirt, toning, or grime that has built up over decades can actually protect the coin's surface underneath. Cleaning a coin, on the other hand, can significantly reduce its value by stripping away that original surface and leaving unnatural marks. For a 1988 P quarter in dirty condition, the key question becomes, what lies beneath that surface? If the coin retains strong detail, with minimal wear on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, it could still grade in the higher circulated categories, such as extremely fine or about uncirculated. And if by chance the coin was never heavily worn, despite its dirty appearance, it might even fall into mint state territory once properly evaluated by professionals. Now let's move into errors and varieties, because this is where real excitement builds. The 1988 quarter series is known among specialists for several types of mint errors. These include off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, double die errors, where parts of the design appear duplicated due to misalignment during the hubbing process, and die cracks or cuds, where parts of the die break off and leave raised marks on the coin. One particularly intriguing possibility with a 1988 P quarter is the presence of a double die obverse. While not as famous as some earlier double dies, subtle doubling in the lettering or date can significantly increase value. On a dirty coin, these details might be hidden at first glance, requiring magnification and careful inspection. Another factor to consider is planchet quality. Occasionally, coins are struck on imperfect metal blanks, leading to surface irregularities or unusual textures. What might appear as dirt could actually be part of a mint error, adding to the coin's uniqueness and appeal. Now, let's talk market value, because this is what every collector wants to know. In typical circulated condition, a 1988 P quarter is worth face value, around 25 cents. But in higher grades, the story changes dramatically. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services can sell for $10 to $50, depending on eye appeal and strike quality. But here's where it gets exciting. Exceptional examples, particularly those graded MS67 or above, can reach into the hundreds of dollars. These coins are incredibly difficult to find due to the heavy circulation and mass production of the series. Add a notable error or variety, and the value can climb even higher, sometimes exceeding $1,000 in rare cases. For a dirty coin, the value depends heavily on its underlying condition and whether it has been altered. Collectors often prefer original surfaces, even if they appear dark or toned. A naturally aged coin with strong details can be far more desirable than a cleaned coin with a brighter but damaged surface. Collector interest in the 1988 P quarter has grown steadily over the years, particularly among those who specialize in modern coins. While older silver quarters often dominate attention, modern clad coins are gaining recognition for their hidden rarities and condition-based scarcity. The challenge of finding high-grade examples in a sea of common coins adds an element of treasure hunting that many collectors find irresistible. There's also a psychological factor at play. The idea that a coin you might overlook, something that looks worn or dirty, could actually hold significant value, creates a powerful sense of curiosity and excitement. It encourages collectors to re-examine their change, to look closer, and to appreciate the subtle differences that define numismatics. In the end, the 1988 George Washington quarter dollar with a P mint mark, even in dirty condition, represents more than just spare change. It's a reminder that value isn't always obvious. It's hidden in the details, in the history, and in the unique journey each coin takes through time. 1998 George Washington quarter dollar coin. The 1998 George Washington quarter dollar stands at the very edge of a major transition in United States coinage. This was the final full year before the launch of the state quarters program in 1999, a historic series that would change coin collecting forever. So right away, the 1998 quarter represents the closing chapter of a long-running design era, making it historically significant as one of the last standard Washington quarters before the reverse designs began to change. On the obverse, we see the familiar and iconic portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan. His left-facing profile dominates the coin, with a sense of calm authority and simplicity that has defined American coinage for decades. The word liberty is boldly placed above his head, while In God We Trust sits to the left, and the date 1998 is positioned at the bottom. To the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon is the P mint mark, indicating that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This mint mark is more important than many casual observers realize. Before 1980, Philadelphia coins did not carry a mint mark, but by 1998, the P had become standard. For collectors, the presence and clarity of this mint mark can play a role in determining condition and identifying potential errors. Flip the coin over, and you'll find the classic reverse design that had been in use since 1932. A powerful eagle spreads its wings across the center, clutching arrows and an olive branch. The design represents both strength and peace, a dual message that has long been associated with American identity. Above the eagle reads, United States of America, while below is quarter dollar. The motto, E pluribus unum, is placed above the eagle's head. Now let's talk about mintage, because this is where perception and reality begin to diverge. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 896 million quarters in 1998. That is an enormous number, one of the highest mintages in the entire Washington quarter series. On the surface, this suggests that the coin is extremely common, and in circulated condition, it absolutely is. But here's where collectors start paying closer attention. High mintage does not guarantee high survival in top condition. In fact, it often means the opposite. Coins produced in such large quantities were intended for heavy circulation, and they entered commerce immediately, picking up wear, scratches, and damage almost from the moment they were released. This brings us to the concept of a dirty condition coin. Many people assume that a dirty coin is simply damaged or undesirable, but in the world of numismatics, that's not always true. A dirty coin can often indicate originality. Over time, coins develop natural toning, layers of grime, and surface darkening that actually protect the metal beneath. If you enjoyed this deep dive into hidden coin value, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Coins Numismatic Series, where every coin has a story, and every story could lead to your next big discovery.